Now, the F175 event was actually pretty good. I didn't watch the whole thing because it's at 4 freaking a.m. There's no way I'm staying up for that. I just watched the highlights. It seemed pretty good from what I saw. It wasn't overly cringe as what we expected apart from Brian Tyler. I know you made the F1 theme song, but come on, what is this? But worse than that, I wasn't invited. Maybe next time, lads. And I actually don't mind F1 doing another ceremony like this to launch the cars, maybe for the 80th anniversary. And since I'm a basketball fan, they should do what the NBA 75th anniversary did, and maybe around the British Grand Prix, because that's like a historic F1 location. They can like do something for the top 75 F1 drivers of all time. I think that would be pretty cool. They did that for the 2022 NBA All-Star Game. Oh yes, I know it's been more than a week at this point, but I feel like it's better to do it a week after so that I can really sink my thoughts in on how I feel about these liveries instead of just doing it like right after, because opinions changed over time. For example, I used to like the 2009 Renault, and now I absolutely despise it. And you know, preseason just started, so we finally get to see cars out on track. But did I think Jack Whithall is funny? Do I think Liam Lawson is the next Kurt Cobain? Did I want to throw MGK off a balcony? All of those will be answered right now. Yes, I see the vision, and most definitely yes. I can't name you a single F1 fan who is also an MGK fan, and I also can't name you a single MGK fan. It should have got like Guns N' Roses instead. Those guys are F1 fans. I mean, just ignore the lead singer's Mickey Mouse. But anyways, enough yap. Today I'm going to be grading every single F1 team's liveries and their suits. Yes, I'm going to be grading the suits as well. I didn't mention that in the title because that would make a very long title, and I'm grading them, not ranking them, because ranking them from last to first for me is really difficult because I'm gonna be real, I actually don't find any of the cars this year ugly. They're either just boring or they look really good, unlike last year where we had a few abominations on the grid. And the order I'm gonna go by today, I'll base it off of last year's constructor standings. So I'll go 1 to 10, then 2 to 9, 3 to 8, 4 to 7, and then 5 to 6. First, we're gonna start with McLaren. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. The goal is by June and 200 on Instagram by the end of the month. Anyways, let's get on with the video. It's the same livery as last year, but I'm not mad at them. At least it's not the 2022 abomination. As long as there's no light blue on the car, I'm fine with dark blue, but I absolutely despise the light blue on the McLaren. I really don't think there's anything else they can do with this livery with the orange. But this car, this livery, it works. I don't hate it. As long as we don't have it for more than 3 seasons. If they change it after 2026, I'll be perfectly fine. So this livery gets a B+. It's the same as last year, so I can't really just give it like an A- or an A, you know, because creativity points are being taken out. Well, if I rank their preseason livery, I would give that like an F- or the worst grade. It won't even be graded, I'll just throw it in the trash. And the suits are the same as last year, so no comment on that. Maybe a B. And their preseason suits, however, they look like the most generic looking motorcycle suit of all time. And now time for Sauber. Now last year, everyone hated the Sauber. Well, I didn't hate it. I didn't like it at first, but it doesn't look that bad. However, I do prefer the Las Vegas livery. And this year, Sauber learned from their Las Vegas livery and kinda implemented it without all those flames on the side so that it doesn't look like a freaking muscle car. And you know what? This car looks good. I like gradients. If you can't tell from my freaking profile picture, it's a gradient. And if you see all my other thumbnails, gradient. I think it looks good. It doesn't remind me of Steak though. Sure, yeah, Steak is green. I mean, Kick or Steak, whatever. They're green. But it looks more like Razor. Tell me it doesn't look like Razor. It generally looks like a Razor F1 team. But yeah, I like it a lot. I think everyone actually likes this one so far. A lot of people don't like the number though, but you gotta relax. They're not retiring 5 because Sebastian Vettel didn't really do anything with number 5 on the car. And yeah, so the livery, I'm gonna give it an A-. I don't think it's the best, but I think it looks pretty damn good. I take back everything I said because it looks horrendous on track. This is a D, not an A-. Holy cow. And the suits, however, they make LaToya Jackson look like she's glowing. I mean Gabrielle Bortoleto, not LaToya Jackson. I can't talk about other people's appearances when I look like this, but LaToya Jackson, Gabrielle Bortoleto, he looks like he's glowing. It makes sense for Nico Hülkenberg because he's literally the Hulk. He's like, what, gamma radiation anyway, so that makes sense. But yeah, Bortoleto looks like he's gonna explode. But since it doesn't really look that bad on Hulk, I guess the suits are a B-. Now, time for Ferrari. I know a lot of people hate the HP logo and have done multiple edits removing the HP logo from this car. But I'll tell you something, I don't really care about the HP logo. It doesn't look that jarring to me. It kind of looks in place on the white background. If it was on the red, maybe it's a bit out of place, but with the white background, it blends in better. Not saying it's the best, it can certainly be better if it was black, but if you look at it, it doesn't really look that bad. And with that white stripe, it's reminding me of the F2007 because of the color of the car as well, the maroon. If you didn't know, the F2007 became a darker red after the Monaco Grand Prix. This reminds me of that, and just imagine the white as a barcode. Remember the HP barcode meme that people made? I think they kind of followed that by making this. I really dig this car a lot. However, I absolutely hate the rear wing. I mean, you don't need two HP logos there. You can just put one in the IBM. The IBM just looks wrong. The rear wing would look a lot better with the Ferrari text. Why did you remove the Ferrari text HP? Look, there's space below HP to put the Ferrari text. Just put the Ferrari text there. This car would genuinely be my favorite of the 2022 regulations era. But unfortunately, the rear wing just ruins it for me. So the F175 is still my favorite F1 car of the 2022 regulations. But this is maybe in the top 5. I'm going to give this an A+. I think it looks better than the 2023 Ferrari and the 2024 Ferrari. Not sure if it looks better than the Las Vegas Ferrari though. Maybe that looks better. And just a reminder, the last time we had dark red with white accents, we won the championship. The suits, however, I think they're alright. They're like your standard Ferrari suit, so you can't really say much about this. B-. Now time for Williams. And I said in the previous video that the Williams liveries are just getting better and better each year since 2022. They evolve upon themselves, and this year is no different. Again, the best variation of the 2022 era Williams. It's because of the gradient. I'm a sucker for gradients. Why do you think my YouTube channel logo is literally a gradient? I have a crush on gradients, even more than my crush on Lance Stevenson. It's a clean looking machine, and gradients just work on F1 cars, don't they? Like the preseason W11, I like that a lot more than the W10 because there's a bit more color in the INEOS, but the gradient in general, gradients in general work on F1 cars, apart from the SF21 because that was so random. But I'm going to be giving Williams an A. And their preseason livery, it looked alright. It looks like something straight out of F1 Manager, but it isn't really that bad. Yes, I know camo liveries aren't normally used throughout the season, but if this was throughout the season, I genuinely wouldn't mind. It looks pretty damn good. And as for the race suits, I don't know, C+. This is like the most generic Williams race suit of all time. So yeah, C+. It's the same, minus Bybit. B for effort, I guess. And that lines up perfectly because the next team we're going to be looking at is Toro Rosso. Now, last year I went through this whole thing where I wouldn't call them MasterCard Lola. I would call them MasterCard Lola instead of whatever Visa Cash App I like to stuff marshmallows down my throat. Because that name is so long and confusing. It had Toro Rosso colors, the livery was a Toro Rosso, they had a Toro Rosso driver, so I called it Toro Rosso throughout the year. But this year, with this livery, I think they have their own identity now. Sure, it brings back a lot of people to the 2021 Turkish Grand Prix RB16B, but to me, this seems more like a racing bulls, and I think it's fitting to the team name. Look at those little bulls on the engine cover. I think they look really cute. And the suits as well. Yeah, this screams racing bulls, and it's definitely the best livery on this grid. I'm a Ferrari fan, but even I have to admit that. So, I'm gonna have to give this an S+. Like, way above the A tier. And the suit, I like that green Cash App outline. It's reminding me of Sauber Petronas. So, I'm gonna have to give the suit an A. Yeah, I think that's quite fitting. And next we have the Mercedes. Now at first, at the F175 live event, it looked very plain and bland, and they didn't even give us proper renders and pictures of the car. We just had the pictures from the event. But now we actually have the Mercedes W16, and what can I say? It doesn't look that bad. I thought it looked boring and plain at first, but now I like it. Do I think it's better than the W15? No. Because I do like the red Ineos at the top of the car. I know a lot of people don't like the Ineos, specifically Tomo F1, but I like it myself, and I always liked it when the Mercedes F1 cars have a splash of red. Why do you think the W09 is my favorite Mercedes F1 car of all time? Because the number is red. It contrasts from the silver and the black, and I love it. But now there's no red on the car, so I like last year's a lot more, but this really doesn't look bad. I like it myself. I think it looks a lot cleaner. But personally, what I would change to this car, you see this section, the Solara and the Team Viewer section on the engine cover and the headrest? I would make this entire section silver so that it fades to black, just like the W10. Tell me it wouldn't look a lot better than what we have currently. For that, I would give it an A, but since we just have this, it's only a B. And the suits, it's the same Mercedes suit we've had since 2020, but I would change something here. I think the Adidas stripes are way too thick. I think they should be a lot thinner. And next we have Haas. The VF24 looked really simple and clean. Just having the white outline around the nose, I liked it, but not as much as I like the 2023 and the 2022 livery, but it still looks good. This year we have a lot more white on the car, and I think it still looks pretty clean. I think I have it equal to last year. I just have one glaring problem with this car. Why isn't the side pod connected to the back of the engine cover? Just make this the full white outline so that it looks full and complete. It just looks empty and unfinished here. Haas had the opportunity to make this car look sweet, and they missed it just because of one simple error that they could have fixed. And another thing I would have done differently, I would have made the Haas logo red, because I think that would look a lot better. I guess they're just trying to change things up because every time they had a white side pod, the logo would be red. So I think black, not bad, or at least a red outline, or just make it fully red. But still, this part, it's just so, I don't know, it's a glaring issue to me, and that makes it look unfinished, so I can't ignore that. I'll give this car a B-, because I like last year's Haas a lot more, and I still like this one, but just complete the damn car, mate. Their suits, I love it. I saw their black team kids, if you saw the video I made recently, and they said it looks like Toyota. This doesn't really scream Toyota, but it screams early Haas when Haas still used gray and black suits. I think these are the best suits on the grid. Haas going back to their roots and using a black suit. Lovely. I'll give this an A. Next up, we have Aston Martin. Now, I thought Aston Martin would use the same formula of livery every year since 2021 and end up like Red Bull. I mean, I don't blame them. It's a nice livery, it works, and there's nothing else really that they could change. But no, they actually surprised all of us and changed it quite a bit this year. And do I like this more than their regular livery? No, not really, but I think it's quite creative the way they use the exposed carbon to, save weight. It's a lot smarter than what they did last year, but the overall car as a whole doesn't really look as good as when the side pod is green. But I still really dig this one. And one quick word on the chassis, that looks mean. Oh. Now, I already did the 2025 preview video. I'm going to get that out by Saturday. And I said Aston Martin might be at the back of the pack this season. But looking at their preseason chassis, I might have to re-edit some stuff. But the livery, I'm going to have to be giving it a B. I think it's more aggressive, but I just like the class of the Aston Martin that we're all used to with their previous livery. But it's not bad. I quite like it myself. Oh yeah, I completely forgot to mention the mud and air intake. It's not bad. I don't mind it. They had it towards the end of last year actually, so I was expecting that for this year's livery. And their suits, they're actually using Puma suits this year, and there's a lot more sponsors on the suit. I think it's the same Aston Martin suit as old, but I do like the teal going down the side rather than being on the shoulder. So again, the suit, just gonna give it a B standard. And hopefully we can have Puma Aston Martin merch next season. Please, Aston, give us what we want. And lastly, the A525. Now last year, their livery was disgusting, horrible, ugly, It was even worse than the Dallas Mavericks trash can jerseys they used a few years ago. It's even worse than the Spurs scuba diving kit. But this year, they kinda redeemed themselves. When you look at it from the side, it looks full blue, it looks clean, I like it. Sure, it's missing some Alpine red, but I think the pink blends in really well. But why is the nose pink? Why is the nose pink? You either make the car fully pink or fully blue. Again, this had the potential to look really, really clean, but the pink nose just makes it look messy. Now, it's probably not on the fault of the Alpine livery designers. I think BWT are giving them more money to make the nose pink, so, understandable, gotta chase that bag. But it doesn't mean that it's not ugly. It is ugly. From the side, it looks beautiful, but from the front, it looks like a mess. And look at that blue outline along the pink. That would have so much potential if the nose was just blue with a pink outline, or if the entire car was pink. C+. The only good thing I can say about their livery is Enei or Eni are back in F1. And their suits look horrendous. They look like bibs. So there you go. We're done ranking the suit and the liveries. Let's head to conclusion. So here's all the suits and the liveries if I put them on a tier list. And see you next week or Saturday for the 2025 preview video. Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I think that's probably the best video I've ever made. So yeah, can't wait.